What's up, everybody? Radx here, the one from 72, the ultra neutral, and I am just making my way through the traffic in Cleveland downtown. It's just, this is like the way the masses are right here, right? Like, it's just, you can't get away from it. They literally will go in the direction that they're pointed and going. And I was actually going to get off of this and go a different route, but then I was like, no, I'd rather just go ahead and take this and just kind of use it to explain my point. And my point is that people know that there's a big traffic jam up ahead, but they will continue to follow, to go that way, right? Like, they know that it's gonna get real shit real soon. And they have all different types of routes to get off of, let me roll up this window. They have all different types of ways to get off of this route and go a different way. Like, they can go a different way and get to their destination, but they literally will follow in the line. They will follow along. They will just keep going the direction that they're pointed to going because they're afraid to deviate and go a different way. And although we see that traffic is slowing down, it's a good possibility that, you know, up ahead there's an accident that's going to go to a complete stall and just shut everything down, like what happened yesterday. And that's when I really should have filmed this. I mean, that might not be the case, but I'm just using this as a teaching tool so that way you can understand what I'm trying to say. This is what's happening right now with, I don't want to say the entire human race, but definitely with America and Americans. It's definitely, this is happening, right? Like, I've talked to so many people, and it's just, there's no backbone, there's no spine. Like, I'm like, tell me you didn't get the, you know, your puppy shots. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got the puppy shot. I just went ahead and got the puppy shot. Yeah, and I tell them, you know, or people who haven't done it, they said that they're going to get it. You know, if their job is in jeopardy or things are in jeopardy, they're gonna get it. You know, it's there's no spine, right? Like, people, you see them, they'll kick and scream along the way and say, oh, I'll never do that. But all it takes is, you know, the country to lean on them just a little bit. You'll lose your job, so you'll lose some comfort. Oh, well, you know, here's the arm, take it. You know, you'll lose, you won't be able to take your kids to the school. Oh, well, here's the arm, take it. It's just, and they have no spine. They literally have, Americans all talk and folding like a cheap ass chair. Just folded up like a cheap old lawn chair that is used and abused, and nobody cares, and everybody gets to sit on it, you know, and fart all over that chair because it's just a dirty ass old chair that nobody cares about because it'll fold every damn time. And that's exactly what's going on, you know. And I'm telling you, I'm making a prediction right now. After they lean on everybody with, you know, employment and stuff like that, for those people who are left who don't give up the arm, for the people who are left that don't give up the arm, the last thing that they're going to say is, we're going to put a thing on people's, you're going to have to go get new licenses with where it'll say that, hey, you gave up the arm on the license. There'll be like maybe some, like a little gold star, some bullshit or whatever, you know, or some like little medical thing on there to say, hey, this person gave up the arm. Look, at these people are going to get in an accident. To say that this person gave up the arm. So then, what's the final result of that? Anybody who didn't give up the arm is going to lose their license. And the way they're going to say this, the way they're going to put this is that if you haven't given up the arm, then you shouldn't be driving, because if you're driving, that means you're spreading it. It gives you more of the means to spread it across the country. So we're going to revoke anybody's license who hasn't given up the arm, who doesn't have the new license with the little medical thing on the license. Watch, I guarantee it's going to happen. And then when that happens, you know, the remaining people who have been kind of hanging in there saying no and gave up their jobs and they're living on whatever they can live on, and they're not able to get unemployment benefits because you got to give up the arm to get that too. Those people who are just barely eking by, hanging in there, when they say they're going to take their license from them, I guarantee like 70%, I'll say 72%, 72% of those people are going to go ahead and just give up the arm because they don't want to lose their license. And then you're going to have like just a small group, small handful of people out there, because this is America. This is how America works, right? Like, the fact that there is anybody who is in the military or in government or in office that found out anything about alien technology, UFOs, or anything like that, and they never stepped forward, those people are not brave. They're not brave at all, because they're afraid they'll lose their job, and they're afraid they'll lose some credibility. Although you're talking about a species that's far, far more advanced than the human species, and they would rather hold on to their job for another day or another year or to get that retirement than dead man's curves, guys. Alright, it's gonna be loud here. Yeah. Sorry, as soon as I get past this, I'll get back on topic. They'd rather hold, like, when you watch movies about people who go against the grain, right? And they step outside of the norm, people go there and they applaud that, and they're like, oh, that person's a hero. There are no fucking heroes anymore. There are none. Watching it on a movie and going there and feeling empowered and then turn around and being a sheep is disgusting. It's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that guy is this, and then turn around just and still being a sheep. It's disgusting. You know, just talking and then, you know, and then, but being a sheep and your actions are sheeple, that's, what does that make you? That makes you lower than dirt, right? Like, oh yeah, you know, talking big, but they're not doing anything. There's nothing. Look, there's a few people that have come out and said, you know, hey, look, there's, you know, there are UFOs, there are aliens, there are government people. And those people who've come out are brave. But think of the countless amount of people, the countless amount that have stayed silent and never spoke up and never supported people who were coming out speaking up. The moment Fravor came out, Commander David Fravor came out and said, hey, yeah, there's, you know, we recorded this UFO, and stood up like that and said the stuff, like, everyone should have just been like, and like all the military, they should have just been like, no, whatever, dude, this guy's coming out, I'm going to come out too, I'm going to tell my story. And they all should have came out, like, right away. It shouldn't have, you're talking about an advanced species. I mean, come on, like, what the hell is wrong with the humans, right? Like, you're covering up for them because of a paycheck? Are you stupid? No, you're a coward. If you didn't come out and you didn't speak up and you didn't say anything about an advanced species who's running shit in the background, or possibly running stuff in the background, you're a fucking coward. That's just all there is to it. And people who sit there and point the finger and say that those people are crazy or whatever because they were saying this, look, there is a video and a story of a bunch of children at a school that the story's been out for a little while, and I think Dan Aykroyd was the one who brought this story out. A school with a bunch of children saw a UFO land in the school, in the playground, and then a being appeared on top of the UFO, and teachers saw it too. And so now they're coming. They were speaking about it then, all these children, and then the teachers tried to cover it up. They try to pretend like it didn't happen, but now they're coming out and saying it because they were cowards. They're afraid to lose their fucking job. Do you not understand the system? The system keeps you enslaved for other species to continue to rule you from behind closed doors. And you're protecting that. Every single person that has a voice in a position to be heard, and they haven't spoke up and they haven't said anything, yeah, you're protecting your enslavers. And that's another thing too, right? Like, you hear all these stories about the Greys doing all this stuff with humans, and you have certain people out there trying to say, oh, they're doing harmful things. That's not true. There's no evidence of that. You get more stories of people saying that they're more concerned about the environment here, like they don't hurt you, you haven't been hurt, concerned about the planet and all this stuff. With the Greys, that seem like it's all, like they're trying to get humans to get it together and push forward. And so there are people out there who are saying, hey, look, they're not. That's like that movie Fire in the Sky, right? Like, if you watch the movie Fire in the Sky and then go listen to the guy's actual real testimony, he'll tell you the horrific things that they showed in the movie Fire in the Sky absolutely did not happen to him. That's just mainstream media trying to scare people. Well, who runs Hollywood? And why are they trying to make you afraid of the Greys? Why are they trying to promote fear? Instead of using that story, his story, what happened, and just telling the complete truth, he tells people now, there's nothing to be afraid of when you deal with him. Nothing happened to him. He wasn't hurt in any kind of way. It's pathetic, man. And those people are part of the problem. They're part of it to try to keep you enslaved. So, you also hear stories that, and this is going to be unpopular, you're not going to like this, but you also hear stories about the reptilians working with the Greys. Okay, so the Greys aren't doing anything evil to people. They're trying to get people to be more conscious of the earth. The reptilians have been here since the prehistoric age. They evolved then. They're not from somewhere else. They're from here. There may be other ones that are from somewhere else that came here, but the majority of them, it's their planet. They've been here since prehistoric times. And they're using the Greys to try to help the humans move forward. So where is all this bullshit coming from? I can tell you where it's coming from. I can tell you right now, with all this fear-mongering shit. It's coming from the same group of people that look like another alien species that came here, that's a controlling species. They look just like humans. They're humanoids that look just like humans. And they're called the Tall Whites. Why do you think I guess I could say it, Hitler wanted to create people who were, he wanted to create a superior race of blonde hair, blue eyes. Well, where the fuck did that come from? Because he's not blonde hair and blue eyes. He had alien intervention from these people. The same fucking people. The same alien species that's not from here. Blonde hair, blue eyes. They're not from here. Now, I'm not saying that all the humans on this planet who are blonde hair and blue eyes are genetically connected to that species, but it's a damn good possibility a lot of them are. There are people who are connected to that species. And it's easier for them to rule from behind the shadows because you're already familiar with these people. They look like you. And you hear all this stuff like, there was like this study that came out and said people who are over 6 foot tall are more trustworthy than people under 6 foot tall. I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But there are people who believe that. There are people who literally believe that taller people who are over 6 foot tall are more trustworthy than people who are shorter. They literally believe that shit. It was in a magazine. It was on like news articles. That's just why. What is this? That shit doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of profanity in this one because, things are happening. And it's just what it is. But, look, there are no heroes left here, not in this country. Nobody's going to stand up. It only takes a little bit to lean on people here before they cave. They literally will not stand by their word. Like, people here, they say that they talk brave and they talk like, you know, they're tough, but the more the system leans on them, they just fold up like a cheap ass dirty old lawn chair. Just fold right up. And when they do that, then the person to the left of them that was using them for strength folds up with them. It's pathetic, right? Like, it's just straight pathetic. And this may be pissing people off. They may be talking tough and saying, oh, I'm not going to do that. We'll see. We'll see. There's so many people right now. I'm just like, they're dropping off like flies. You know, and once, like I said, once they lean on you about not being able to work, oh, well, you need to go to work, right? Because you need that money because you didn't prepare, right? You need that money, so you got to go to work. And those people who say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to just go on unemployment, so that way they can't force me to take it, well, they're going to hit the unemployment too. And they're going to say, you know, if you don't have it, if you didn't give up the arm, you don't get unemployment. I literally have people at my job get hired and never show up. And then I've been going to other businesses and they've said, you know, that they're down to like 1 or 2 people on staff because people, they don't show up. This is part of the plan. While you're bitching and yelling and saying that, oh, those people are bad because they don't want to work, this is all part of the plan. It's the whole thing is playing out exactly the way they want to play out. They want to get the mass majority of people, they want to get those arms. And once they get those arms, I've already told you, 1972 predicted 9/11, I've proved that. 1972 predicted most of the events that happened in 2020, I've proved that. 1972 predicts what's going on right now. But you don't care. Because there are people in the military and government people who kept silent. They saw shit going on. They saw an advanced alien species here doing shit. And they wanted to get their paycheck because money is more important than the human race. And that's what it comes down to. For every single one of those people, their comfort and money was more important than their entire species. That's it. And the gravity of that should hit you down into the deepest part of your gut. Because that's the truth of it all. And the truth of that is, in 1972, when they switched that currency over, and you can't find those dollars, it's all right there on the dollar. In God we trust. A pyramid that doesn't belong there, because you're not in Egypt, this is in America. Shouldn't there be like Native American shit on the dollar? Like, shouldn't there be something like, instead of the pyramid, shouldn't something like that big crazy ass tree, that weird, I don't know what it's called, the devil's tree or whatever the hell they call it, that they shot the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I haven't watched in a while. Shouldn't they have used that on there because that's an anomaly? Shouldn't they have used like the Grand Canyon or any other like anomalies here in America? No. They used, and shouldn't like, they used something from another country, from an old civilization that was ran by old gods that were really alien gods. And that's why it says, in God we trust. But there's no cross there. You don't see a cross. You don't see any of the other religious things. The only religious thing that you see on that dollar is the bird. Why not the buffalo? That was like a staple point for this country. For those settlers that came here, was living off of buffalo meat. Like, that seems like that would have been more of an animal that they had put on a dollar. The buffalo and maybe that crazy ass tree. You know, or maybe like some Native American stuff. But no, they put the eagle on there, and they put the pyramid on there. And then they wrote in between the two, "In God we trust." You sold out your